Let's talk about the Circle of Life thing with Sebastian. Sebastian's been on the show before. We talked about it. And then it's a really interesting thing. Obviously, Speedy J does something sort of
Stoor,
similar.
we did that together. You know that?
Really?
Yeah, we did like Circle of Life and Stoor together.
Is that right? Okay. I mean, this is kind of fascinating to me. Sort of simultaneously really interesting, sort of a bit terrifying. The thought of doing it. For people who are not aware of it, just describe a little bit what it is. And
so basically, what Sebastian or Joachim do, Speedy J, is they put together a stage with like 3 to 5 people to create a night of improvised music, which mostly goes from kind of ambient in the beginning to, with Sebastian you always go back to ambient, with Jochen I don't think so, goes straight into sort of techno, and what's happening is that like there's a certain trust between the people that are invited, and I think it's always interesting to have a little bit of different styles in there, and that's what both Jochen and Sebastian are trying to invite. And you play for 6 to 8 hours live, improvise, and it's quite challenging, but it's also very inspiring at the same time. And you have to say it's also okay to step away for like half an hour or something and take a break.
Yeah,
that's why you have a few people. So, and in Sebastian's context, is also can be a solo in between. So you say like, hey, can I play half an hour alone? It's also fine. But it never happened. It never happened when I played there, like, because the dynamic is always really nice. And you take breaks, but it's like you always feel like, okay, I have to come back and add something. But it sounds like chaotic. But I think everybody's really, like in that environment, everybody's really careful and like listening. That's what playing together with other people means. Actually, you have to look and listen, or not look maybe, but listen at least. Yeah. And try to add not too much. And when I look at myself, which is a bit of my thing, I guess when I play live, I'm trying to have these kind of like sensational moments rather than like a very long loop. Yep. So it's fun when I play with. I remember with the Stoor event I played in. I had this there was with Sam Barker and Jacko and Sebastian, Joachim, and me. And we had this super nice loop going on, and I felt like, okay, everybody's like holding back something. So I was like waiting, like who's gonna smash it now? Right, but then nobody did. So can I? So it was really fun. And then I felt almost bad doing it, But
okay,
it's okay. At the end, I think it was like the other funny thing I have to say about this night was. So Joachim was kind of like the kick drum master. He had this 909, like tuned and pitched, blah, blah, blah. And he also he has a mixing desk where he's like, like
he's sort of the master of ceremonies.
He's the master.
Isn't it?
Same as Sebastian actually also. Yeah. So it's not doing a lot, but like sometimes they loop things or like take the volume a bit down because it's too high or whatever. And but we had this agreement that he's doing the kick drum. So at one point he was like, I need to go to the bathroom, he told Sebastian, can one of you do the kick drums? You're like, yeah, sure, no problem, of course. And we were like looking at each other, and it's like, I do it. And then I put in my kick drum and like nothing happened. I was like, what is going on? And then I looked at Sebastian, mine doesn't work, you try yours. He started like, not really. Jochen came back, first thing, kick drum in. We were like, what the? And then we turned out like he really tuned his 909 perfectly to this room, to the Paradiso, like whilst our kick drums were just too low.
Right.
Like this modern kind of kick drums. So it was totally like he had the impact, and I've actually loved that for the night. It was so fun.
Right. So do you mean low in terms of frequency?
Yeah. These modern kick drums at the moment, they're like really bass, subby and stuff. Like, but I actually, for myself, I'm going back to put out the 909 again to have this like,
the
kind of
thump.
Kick. But I'm going too nerdy now about this. But the whole thing about it is like it's very surprising what happens on these nights for us as players, but also for the audience, I think. And that's because it's like, it's not planned, so you get these real moments. I think we spoke about it earlier, and that's sometimes rare in days of almost program shows because of visuals and blah blah blah. So
Absolutely.
I think it's the antidote actually to that in a way.
Yeah. Just to get a little bit nerdy for a moment, what do you play off? Like, what do you bring along with you when you go to one of those kind of things? Presumably you bring a laptop or like.
Well, I bring my extended set for these things. Like I have a small set that I mostly play with these days because I just annoyed to wait for luggage, my loose luggage actually.
Yes.
It's a little bit worse these days. So my normal setup is like, computer, Ableton controller, drum machine, and a little synth I play some extra with. And for this I have like a bigger setup with like, you can actually, if you are on YouTube, you can watch it. I break it down at one point, which is like 2 more synths and a little modular and effects and stuff.
Okay.
So I'm a bit more free and, but I like the basis is always like my normal live set. I'm just like doing bits, like I take, I don't know, the bass line from a track that is in key with what is playing or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. Yeah. I mean, what was the first one you did?
The first session like this?
Yes.
That was actually in Barcelona with Sebastian. I mean, I'm
Was it scary? Basically, that's what I want to ask.
I was trying to say, like, I did, like, with Henrik, I do the Schwartzman thing for, like, many years already, and we're very used in just being totally free.
Okay,
like,
that's a sort of jam.
Yeah,
like,
always. So as a musician, I'm like, I'm okay with jamming.
Yeah.
I'm fine. But Henrik I knew for a long time. Sebastian I met just 2 or 3 years before he started this. Funny enough, because we're very similar in many ways, and we both ask ourselves why we haven't met earlier, but it's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing with Circle of Life is you never know like who you're playing with.
Oh, really? Okay.
And that night was Sebastian, obviously.
Is that intentional? Does he?
Well, no. At one point you know it, but
okay.
You don't.
You can't plan super far.
You don't know how those people play.
Right.
So at the first night I played with them was in Barcelona at Nizza at Apollo Club.
Yeah.
Which I really love. I just played there. It's
great.
Like the audience is so good there.
One of the best clubs in Europe for sure.
And there was Colin the Mole.
Oh yeah.
And I never saw him playing live, so he's just like sampling live, like records into MPC and then adding.
Wow,
and I was
really?
like,
okay.
That's such a I never had that kind of texture basically in a live set, and it's really cool to have that graininess, all the time. And then was Raphael Vogel, Leglov.
Yes.
And I also I know his music, but I never, played with him. So it's always a bit of surprise how things work together in this just thrown together group. But it was so fun. So it was really, really cool. And I'm really thankful for Sebastian that he's like starting this format because it's just a super nice experience all the time.